Welcome to the Diary of Discovery, the podcast where we delve deep into the human experience of healing and transformation. I'm your host, Jackie Clark, and each week we will sit down with inspiring individuals who have embarked on their own personal journeys of healing and self-discovery. From overcoming trauma to navigating life's challenges, our guests share their raw and honest stories, offering insights, wisdom, and hope to all who tune in. So grab your favorite cup of tea, find a cozy spot, and join us as we uncover the power of resilience, courage, and the pursuit of authenticity. This is the Diary of Discovery. Welcome back to the podcast. So we are joined today by our wonderful guest, Angela. Hello, Angela. Do you want to just introduce yourself for our listeners?
Thank you, Jackie, and hello. It's wonderful to be on this podcast. I am so grateful to be here and to share with you my healing journey. And yes, I am an artist. I'm also a coach. And I've had a very interesting life. So this should be a fun podcast.
Incredible. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. As you said, we're here to talk about healing, and we're gonna just start at the beginning for me. So, what was the moment that you realized that healing needed to become part of what you do? What was the start of the journey for you?
Well, Jackie, for me, healing really was from inception. When you come into this world, you start healing straight away, depending on your family disposition or not. And I think the earliest recollection that I can think of, can't even get my words out, was when I was a young'un and I was living in South Africa, Johannesburg, and it was on the suburbs there, and I went to a church. Now, I basically was sitting in one of those wooden pews, and there was a lot of family stuff going on, challenges at that age, and I just decided I was sitting in this on this pew in this church, and I saw this beautiful sun coming through the stained glass windows, and I was just like, there was nobody else there, even though there was lots of people there, but I was just in that moment, and then the choir started to sing. And I always remember that. It was like they were singing, "Yes, Jesus loves me." And it was so beautiful because in that moment, I was just sitting there. I was looking at the sun coming through these beautiful colors of the stained glass, and I was listening to the choir, and it was so beautiful. And I thought, wow, there's this warm sense of healing coming through me right now. And is this what they are talking about? Is this the presence that they are talking about? And I think in that moment, I knew that my life was about to change for the better.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. And what was your journey kind of from that point on? How did your healing continue to sort of be part of your life as you continued?
Well, Jackie, for me, my parents were basically separated, and I was living with my mum. And it was very challenging living with her because she was also an alcoholic. So it was fun times, if you can say that. She was basically a working alcoholic, but I loved her to death. She was an amazing woman. Always made me laugh, even when I didn't want to laugh. But the challenges were I think what was part of life. It was like I knew I was on this journey, and this journey was going to lead me to greater things, even though at the time it was challenging to understand what was going on. And but yes, and I think that was the beginning of the challenges for me from a grief standpoint, because that's when I lost a lot of my family. So my mum, my dad, my grandfather, my grandmother, all at an early age. So it was like you just go into that survival mode. Okay, this is it. I've got to get on with it. So that is basically the beginning and continued till this day.
Absolutely. I mean, I that grief of losing so many people so close together is, I can absolutely understand that. We had multiple deaths in my family, also all really close together, and it is a massive challenge, I think, in that process. And as you kind of go through that, were there moments where you questioned your healing? Where you questioned potentially your faith? Where you questioned your ability to get through the hard times?
Oh, for sure, Jackie, for sure. I mean, when you're a youngster, you've totally lost your childhood because suddenly you've had to grow up. You've had to become this person that suddenly is having to deal with so much loss and grief, and yet there are other family members still around, and they're trying to grasp it as well. So, at the end of the day, it's not an easy thing to go through, but there's hope. And I always relied on my faith in a higher presence that I'd get there. And I think the other thing as well was being an artist. I was able
Mm.
to just doodle, and for me, that is the way I meditate. It enables me to just go to that place of, okay, whatever's going on around me, it's okay, because I can just get a pencil or pen and I can just draw or doodle. And I think in some ways that's really helped me on my healing journey through my whole life.
Absolutely. I think having that your own like personal toolkit of things that you can fall back on. So for you, doodling like is so important in a healing journey. It's so important to have those access points of ways that you can sort of de-stress, release, let your mind kind of rest and just feel what you need to feel and kind of go through. So were there any other ways that you did that other than doodling? Were there any other techniques that you used?
Yes, Jackie, growing up, there was the faith, there was the prayer, there was the meditation, there was all sorts of different ways to do that. Yeah, it was interesting because in my day, we didn't have all these self-help books, all these gurus that are out there now that could just help you and support you through it. It was a case of finding those people that were able to, family or friends of family that were able to sit with you and just say, things are going to be okay. Maybe just try a little bit of, pray or, find something, talk to the angels or talk to someone, talk to your priest or to, your pastor or whoever that may be, wherever you are in the world, or, a sister or a nun or someone like that. So yeah, and they in that you learnt about certain ways to calm yourself, your regulate your system through
Mhm.
maybe a little bit of prayer, meditation, um, and yeah, there's many things.
Absolutely. And I think that that idea of like now in this day and age with social media and the access to information that we have, there's so many buzzwords around healing, around the nervous system, around, all of these sorts of different principles. But actually, the core idea of how we heal is still the same. It's still that meditation, it's still that prayer, it's still that sort of connecting with your feelings, having a community around you. Like all of the things that you're describing are still what people are recommending to do today. Like nothing's really changed in the process of how we heal, which is quite reassuring actually in a way that it's an age old thing that's been going on forever, and as much as it's getting much more airspace nowadays to be discussed, and it's much more accepted that people need help. It was always something that I think has been there, which is really amazing. So as you've gone on this journey, what do you think your biggest like change has been in your own outlook to life?
Yeah, for me, it's been that you can see things from a different perspective. So often we go through life and we think, I'm a victim of this, oh, nobody loves me, I'm going to eat some worms, that type of thing. But really, at the end of the day, the only person who can change their circumstances or change the way they live their life is the person that you are, and you know you are, that is within you. And that is through meditation, through prayer, through all these old age things that we've been doing for years, beyond years. And it's only just recently that, on social media and that suddenly they're discovering it. But it's not a new discovery. It's been around for yonks, years and years and years and years. It's an ancient from, different Asia, India. It's always been there. It's just a case of we've suddenly awoken to the thing that we can change our lives. We can change our energy. We can change who we are. It's seeing things from a different perspective. So yes, right now I'm challenged by this, but I can see it from a different perspective. Can I get somebody to help me and support me through this? Yes, I can. I just have to reach out.
Mm, I love that like perspective shift. I think that's so important. Like as you go through a healing journey, it's always going to change who you are and how you see things. There's no way that it can't with everything that we kind of go through and the analysis that we have to do on that in order to, heal the person that we are. So I think that that's so it's so incredible. And actually, a question that I'm really excited to ask you about specifically is this idea of like finding your purpose in that process of healing and like starting to do the work that like sits behind that, because I know that you've had some really amazing careers like as you've gone through life that have all kind of fitted into this idea of healing quite nicely. So would you mind sharing a bit more about that kind of journey that you've been on?
Not a problem. Yeah, I see it as like a golden thread. So we come into this life and we know who we are. We know the essence of who we are. And then we get caught up in life in the sense of our parents were dealing with stuff and whatever. So then suddenly we take on all of their attachments and then we forget the truth of who we truly are. And so then begins our journey, which to me is your purpose. It's your, you may not know it at the time, but it's something that you've come into this world to learn about, to experience, and go on this journey. Because I don't think we ever really get to the end of the journey, because it's just a constant growth and learning process that we need to go through. And well, yes, I mean, I've been very great. They're very fortunate, and I'm very grateful for all the challenges I've faced and all the loss and everything that's happened along the way. Because it's taken me to countries that I would have never ever thought of going to. I mean, I grew up in South Africa as a young child. I moved to the UK and went to college and got a job in the airlines and nursing and all of these different things that I was doing. It had nothing to do with art. Art always had its place there. I always knew that it was there. The same with as a creative, I also am a musician as well. And I love music and I love art as well. But I knew that, okay, I'm on this trajectory and I need to follow it. And so then I changed different jobs, which was great because I was learning. I was like, okay, this is how you do this is how you do that. Okay. And then that took me to living in places like Australia, in the States, in New York and Arizona and those type of places. And then I came back to the UK of all places. I know some people say to me, why did you come back to the UK of all places? You've been to all these amazing places. But it was part of the journey. It was part of my purpose. So I knew at a certain point when I was in the States that it was time for me to return to the UK. I didn't know why, but I knew I had to come back for some purpose. And here I am, and now I'm going on a whole new journey of social media. I mean, who wants to do that? But hey, it's here to stay. You got to get on the bandwagon. It's learning all new skills, and suddenly I found that, oh my gosh, you're an artist. Oh, you like to sing. Oh, you like music. So it's like, yeah, it's time to actually embrace that and continue the journey for however long I'm here on this wonderful earth plane.
Mm. It's so incredible, like how I love that idea of a golden thread, like just weaving through everything and all of the different places you've lived and jobs that you've done, and everything was kind of letting you learn something about yourself to bring you back to this place. And even as a small child going through trauma, like doodling was your connection point. And now you get to call yourself an artist and create art and create music and, share that with the world in the most amazing way. And I think there's such a kind of full circle moment in that healing as well that is so important for people to see, because healing, I always say that healing's not linear, it's not a straight line, it's more of a roller coaster, um rather. And actually seeing that kind of full circle that you kind of get to the other end is yeah, it's just really incredible, I think. So what advice would you have for somebody who is starting their kind of healing journey? Maybe they've just realized that things aren't okay. Maybe something traumatic has happened, whatever the kind of starting point is for that person. What would your advice be as to how to get started and what tools to use and, what could be helpful?
Thanks, Jackie, for that. That's a very interesting question. Basically, start where you're at. So start right where you are, and it's amazing what will open for you, the people, the support. It's out
Mm,
there. You just have to say help, and
mm,
they'll be there. They'll be there to support you in whatever way, whatever your journey is, whatever you are dealing with, whether it's a health issue, whether it's a trauma, whether it's just needing that extra hand. There are people
mm,
out there that want to journey with you because we're all on this journey together. We're all here to support one another. And I
mm,
say, if you find yourself at a place where you just don't know where to go, who to turn to, just start where you're at and just reach out. Somebody
mm,
there is going to take your hand and lead you to where you need to go. And never give up hope and just have faith in yourself and see it from a different perspective because, at the end of the day, you are unique. You are an
mm,
amazing person, whoever you are, whatever you do, whether you're an artist, whether you're a musician, whether you're a coach, whether you're just doing a 9 to 5 job, you are unique and only you can do that. Nobody else
mm,
can. Nobody can copy who you are. And just acknowledge that and accept that. And
mm,
just know you're never alone on this journey.
mm.
So reach out.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I think the process of healing having a community around you and having people to talk to, it really changes the dynamic of the healing journey. So I think that that's such a great piece of advice. And in the true spirit of healing never being done, and there always being something else that we can be working on and developing, what is your next level of healing, your next focus on developing yourself?
Well, for me, I am embracing the fact that I am an artist and it's taken me a long time to get to this point. I'm also embracing being a singer-songwriter and musician and just being open to wherever that leads. And if on my journey I'm able to mentor or coach or help others along this journey, that to me is the most important thing. If you can help but one person to learn to draw, to learn to just paint or to sing a note, then I think you've made something in this world by just doing one thing.
Mm. Oh, I love that. I love that. I mean, I have watched your journey over the past couple of years and watched you become more and more confident in calling yourself an artist and showing up in this space. And I have no doubt in my mind that you will be helping way more than one person in the future in stepping into this space of, accepting themselves as an artist and going out into the world. So, yeah, I have no doubt that that will be something that you take to very, very well. So we're going to be wrapping up shortly, and I guess my final question is just, do you have any other sort of final thoughts or anything you want to leave people with as they listen to this podcast?
Well, yeah, I think thank you first of all, Jackie, for having me on as your guest and to see how you are taking the next steps into your journey, not only as a business strategist, but as many other things. Um, I think it's just really if you've got a dream and you feel that you can't live that dream, yes, you can. And you just got to take that moment and just say, if you want to do something, just do it. If you fall flat on your face, you pick yourself up and keep going. Because at the end of the day, you are the only person who can do it. Nobody else can make you do it or help you do it. You've just got to get up and push forward and do it. And the support will be there. So thank you, Jackie.
Mm.
I really appreciate this time. And I look forward to hearing more podcasts along the way.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining me, Angela. It has been an absolute pleasure to talk about your healing journey. Thank you for listening to another inspiring episode of the Diary of Discovery. If you found value in today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and share it with your friends, family, or anyone else you think might benefit from the stories of hope and transformation. Your feedback means the absolute world to us, so please take a moment to leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your reviews help us to reach even more listeners and continue to bring this meaningful content to the world. Until next time, remember, your healing journey is valid. You are never alone, and you have the strength to get through this. Keep shining bright, and we'll see you in the next episode of the Diary of Discovery.